Look at this: a pyramid, an eye, an eagle, Latin phrases, crowns, halos, stars. You've seen these symbols your whole life, but you were never taught the language. Jordan Maxwell's entire mission, love it or hate it, was basically one sentence: the world is run by symbols, not words. And if you can't read the symbols, you're living inside someone else's story. This series is a masterclass in Maxwell's lens: symbols, word origins, institutional mythology, and the hidden story layer that shapes what people accept as normal. But here's the deal: we're doing this with a critical thinking backbone, not fear, not blind belief. We're going to separate what's documented, what's inferred, and what's speculative. Jordan Maxwell was an American researcher and lecturer known for astrotheology, occult symbolism, and conspiracy-oriented interpretations. He spent decades giving talks, publishing work, and appearing on shows like Coast to Coast, AM. Whether you agree with him or not, the reason people still watch him is simple: he trained people to look. Here's the Maxwell method in 4 steps. Write this down. 1. Identify the symbol or phrase exactly. 2. Find its historical context, where it appears, who used it, when. 3. Compare it across systems: religion, government, banking, corporate branding. 4. Ask, what behavior does it shape? Symbols are not just decoration. They're signals. You need one thing for this series: a decoder notebook. Every time you see a symbol, you log 4 lines: where I saw it, money, ad, building, logo, uniform. What it is: eye, crown, sunburst, laurel, snake, star. What it could mean: 2 or 3 possibilities, not just one. What I can verify: sources, references, history. This is the difference between research and paranoia: multiple hypotheses, plus evidence. Now we add Maxwell's claims responsibly, using a tool I call the claim ladder. Level 1. Fact. Documented. Checkable. Sourced. Level 2. Inference. Reasonable conclusion from facts. Level 3. Speculation. Possible story, but unproven. In this series, I'll tell you which rung we're on. Let's do a quick case study. The eye. You'll see it in spiritual art, corporate branding, film, and currency imagery. At level 1, the fact is, the eye symbol appears across many cultures and contexts. At level 2, we infer. It often signals watchfulness, authority, knowledge, initiation. At level 3, some claim it proves a single hidden group controls everything. That jump from symbol appears to single group controls all is exactly where you apply the latter. Why Latin? Because Latin signals tradition, authority, permanence, especially in law, education, and state symbolism. That's not a conspiracy, that's branding psychology. Maxwell would say, the language itself is part of the spell. Your job is to ask, what emotion is the institution trying to trigger? Trust, awe, obedience. Maxwell's big theme was institutional coordination: religion, banking, law, government, media, acting like an ecosystem of power. Even if you don't buy every conclusion, this part is worth studying because it's real. Institutions do shape narratives, norms, and incentives. So our approach is map influence, verify claims, and learn the symbolic layer that sells legitimacy. Here's a Maxwell-style insight that's actually useful. Symbols grant permission. A badge grants authority. A seal grants legitimacy. A uniform grants compliance. A logo grants trust. A ritual grants belonging. Most people don't decide. They submit to signals. Once you see that, you become harder to manipulate. Reality check. Pattern recognition can go wrong. Humans are wired to connect dots, even when dots aren't connected. So the rule is, if a claim changes how you live, vote, invest, or fear, it needs stronger proof. We're here to become literate, not reactive. Your challenge today is simple. 1. Grab a dollar bill, or any banknote. 2. Find 5 symbols on it. 3. In your notebook, log the 4 lines for each symbol. 4. Then label each interpretation: fact, inference, speculation. Next episode, Astrotheology 101, the hidden sky story lens Maxwell was famous for. Subscribe and comment. What symbol do you want decoded first? Before there were smartphones, before there were banks, before there were nations, there was the sky. And the sky was the first calendar, the first clock, and the first cathedral. Jordan Maxwell was known for a controversial but fascinating lens called astrotheology. The idea that religious stories encode astronomical allegory. You do not have to accept every conclusion to learn something powerful. Ancient people tracked seasons, solstices, equinoxes, and stars because survival depended on it. So, sky symbolism naturally found its way into myth. We're going to do this in 3 layers. Layer 1, documented astronomy plus seasonal cycles. Layer 2, documented myth motifs across cultures. Layer 3, Maxwell-style interpretations, and we'll label what's speculative. Here are 5 sky anchors that show up everywhere. 1. Solstices, longest day, longest night. 2. Equinoxes, balance point. 3. The sun's death and return cycle, winter, spring. Frundershorty spring. 4. The moon cycle, months, fertility, tides. 5. The zodiac belt, the apparent path of the sun through constellations. When you learn these, symbolism becomes less mysterious. At the seasonal level, winter feels like the weakening of life. Spring feels like return. So stories of death, rebirth can be read as a psychological truth, a seasonal truth, and sometimes a spiritual truth. Maxwell's move was to say, this is the original template. But your move is to ask, where do we have evidence of intentional sky encoding, and where are we projecting? Sky symbolism has power because it feels universal. If you can tie your institution to cosmic order, you gain legitimacy. That's true whether it's a temple, a crown, a flag, or a national seal. So the question becomes, what do symbols make people feel? And what do those feelings make them accept? Maxwell would often push the idea that many religious narratives are allegories rather than literal history. Whether you agree or not, here's the productive takeaway. You can study religion through multiple lenses at once: literal, moral, mystical, political, astronomical. Smart people can hold multiple lenses without collapsing into dogma. A warning, it's easy to swing too far and claim everything is only astronomy. But humans also tell stories about power, trauma, war, love, leadership, law, and identity. The sky is one layer, not the only layer, so we verify, we compare, and we stay humble. Your challenge: story element, example, rebirth, virgin, 12, 3 days, flood, possible sky link. Season, solstice, moon cycle, zodiac. Evidence, texts, historical notes, scholarly sources. Alternative explanation, political, moral, cultural. Next episode, words are spells, how Maxwell used language as the hidden control layer.